Here we are back in the Bethany's PyShop app. It uses the default root component as well. In it, a component called router is rendered. Router is one of the components that is built into Blazor, but it does not mimic a standard HTML tag like div or img. And that's why the name of it is in Pascal casing. The router component doesn't display anything by itself. Its function is to scan the given assembly for pages. Pages are Blazor components with a page directive containing the routing information. We'll see that soon. If a match between the actual URL and the routing configuration of a page is found, the route view is used that is responsible for rendering the matched component. It passes along the route data and the layout page that is to be used. If no match is found, a layout view is used, which is a simple component that takes a layout page and renders the given markup as a body for it. Let's say the request comes in at the root URL on the domain the application runs on. The router will search for a component with a page directive specifying root and render that. In this case, it is a component called index.razor, which is the component we modified earlier to show the profile picture component. Often a folder called pages is created in a Blazor project that contains all components that have page directives. And the folder components contains components without a page directive. But remember, the only difference between them is that page directive. The way they are coded is exactly the same. Let's go back to the app root component for a second. As you saw in the router configuration, the page will use a layout page called main layout, which also has the Razor file extension. It renders its child content at the location marked with body. So on this spot, our index component will be rendered. The menu on the left side of the page is in a component called nav menu, which is rendered by the layout page. So when we go to the root of our application, everything in main layout is rendered. And the actual component that was matched by the router is rendered at the spot where it says add body in main layout. Because the router uses the same layout page for every found component, the layout page stays put when we navigate to another page. Not by bluntly re-rendering the whole page, but in a very sophisticated manner I'll show you in a minute. But let's take a look at how to add code to components first.